I told you. Didn't I tell you? I told you this would happen. And what did I say would happen? Exactly what is happening. Welcome back to the MrShowTym showcast. This is the Trump effect. I heard from the grapevine that Vladimir Putin and Voldemort Zelensky have already begun negotiating a peace treaty as soon as they heard that Trump won his presidential race election, right? This is what happens when daddy comes home. Because when daddy's away, they just left with mommy. They act like a bunch of clowns. They act up they act all out of control. But when daddy comes home, they shape up and they act right. So Vladimir Putin and Zelensky have, begun peace negotiations towards a peace treaty. And of course, with only 2 months out until his presidential reign is over, slow Joe Biden has authorized the Ukraine's military to use US provided long-range missiles to Russia's territory inside Russia, potentially causing catastrophic damage and casualties, loss of lives, in other words. So in other words, before Biden leaves office officially, they want to sabotage and screw Trump over as much as possible, so that they can say, "Oh, look, it's not us, it's him." So because we the good guys, we are willing to help the Trump administration transfer peaceful transfer of power. Forgive me if I mispronounce that, if my grammar is incorrect. We're gonna help Trump's team with a peaceful transition of power. Except it's not a peaceful transition of power if you're willing to hand your former opponent damaged goods. Damaged goods. That's what they wanted to. They want to peacefully transfer to the Trump incumbent Trump administration. A bunch of damaged goods. That's not really a peaceful transition of power. Because folks, I knew they were up to no good. I knew that they weren't finished when Kamala Harris went up on the podium and she gave her so-called concession speech, her ungraceful concession speech, and she faded off into obscurity, faded off into the darkness from when she came. Okay? Mind the wording, because they're like, hey, we have respect to the US Constitution, because again, we're the good guys. We're not going to challenge the elections now, are we? Unlike Trump's team back in 2020 with the rigged elections back then. So they want to leave looking like the bigger person. And these left-wing mainstream media pundits talking about, the American people just voted in Hitler and they don't know what they just voted for, but they're about to find out. And that's when I know that they're setting up something very bad. They're up to no good. They want to, before they leave, they want to engage in some foul. This is the last act of, smearing the Trump campaign. Which is funny because, one can argue that, hey, it's actually very ingenious, but at the same time, They called Trump Hitler, so why are they now ushering a peaceful transition of power to Hitler? But then again, evil can be very cunning, folks. Mind the wording. Listen to what these mainstream media pundits say, and they'll tell you exactly what their next move is. Now, to the regular average normie, that completely go over your head, and I feel sad for you. But then again, that's what we're here for, to put things in perspective for you. They are gearing up to sabotage Trump in a colossal fashion. I fear, about the Simpsons predictions, an economic recession of epic proportions might still ensue. Because when Trump gets in office, I mean, he already has a lot on his plate that he has to clean up. But they're going to make it as hazardous as possible. They're going to spoil the party for him as much as possible. Which brings me to my next point. Trump is surrounded by a bunch of bad company. I mean, look, folks, I know that Tulsi Gabbard and Bobby F. Kennedy, RFK Jr., and Elon Musk, okay, they've now switched sides, and they've had this epiphany and this great awakening. Now they're on the Trump side. Folks, I've said this before in my previous show. The Democrats, okay, their ship has sunk. Now, instead of fulfilling their roles and their agenda with the Democrats, now they're looking to jump ship over to the Trump administration. And they want to fulfill their agendas there. And Trump may or may not see it, I don't know. But it doesn't look good. The more and more I analyze this, the more and more I realize that Trump is not surrounded by good company. Hence the saying, a leopard never changes its spots. Keep that in mind, and I hope I'm wrong. Marjorie Taylor Greene put up this tweet that I'm not really a fan of, okay? Do you support Tulsi Gabbard as, now the picture is this continuous push for female strength, the tough cookie. Women are not supposed to be tough. I don't like men with vaginas, okay? And look at Tulsi Gabbard in this picture. She looks like a dude with a vagina, basically. The tough cookie. No, I mean, look, Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, she's beautiful. She's fairly attractive, okay? Especially during the Democratic primary when she, wiped the floor with Kakamala, okay? But, yeah, she's aged since then, but she's still relatively somewhat kind of attractive. But I'm not a fan of this push because, look, just because now you're on our side, you're playing our side, okay? It doesn't mean that now I'm just going to, say yes to everything that you do. No. I'm still going to pay attention. I'm still going to be mindful of the psyops and this continuous push for a strong female. No. No, no, no. The patriarchy stands. And stand the patriarchy shall.
Hey, look, they gave me 5 minutes to say a few things, so if I offend anybody tonight, I don't give a shit. How many pounds of fentanyl didn't make in this country to kill Americans? How many known suspected terrorists didn't make it in the country? How many billions of dollars did the cartels make? President Trump is one badass president. He secured the border at a level we've never seen before. And I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that's been released into the United States under this administration. Don't get too comfortable. We're going to need some help. Do I have any volunteers that want to come back and help run the biggest deportation operation in the history of this nation? In January of 25, the greatest president of my lifetime walking back in the White House. He tells me we got, I say 120 days. He says, no, you got 60 to lock the border down. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I told the president. He comes back. I come back, we fix this shit.
female strong. Shout out to Andrew Tate. I'm not a staunch Andrew Tate fan, okay? But Andrew Tate, during the Candace Owens interview, whether it be the first or second one, I think, let me emphasize on the second one, the one they did this year. Look, man, most modern men are a bunch of homos, okay? And Andrew Tate has been trying to like strengthen the minds of young men and not to be these simps who worship the kitty cat, okay, the cookie, if you know what I mean. This disgusting female worship of a strong female that can do exactly what a man can do. That's not true. That's not true. I mean, look. Even amongst the exceptions, even Ronda Rousey, I'm not attracted to a Ronda Rousey. I'm not. And they tried so much to push, to give us the psyops of, the strong female masculine archetype. And just because you are now on the Republican side, on the right side of history, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to let you walk in. No, I'm still going to, give you the CAT scan, right? I'm still going to pat you down and see that you're not bringing your bullshit from your previous team here. Keep that shit at the door. Conservative women support their men, okay? And Mark, and then there's the whole Mark Cuban hysteria of his comments about women who support Trump not being intelligent or strong. And look, I don't have any no comment to that. I don't have any comment to that. No comment.
Why I'm making up a number here, 90% of the CEOs all men. And he said, why would a woman want to do that? Why would you want to work 80 hours a week? Why would you want to do these things? You make it seem like this is something that's admirable, like you should want to take on this job. And the reality is I very much believe in traditional roles. I think the majority of women are good at traditionally feminine roles. Hence your point about, like, if a guy was like, I just really want to be a nanny for kids. I'm like, I don't like it. I just don't like it. We naturally trust women to the care of children in the same way that we naturally trust men to the care of protecting us, protecting the nation, protecting us when something happens, protecting us if there's a break-in.
Because it's a man's job to be intelligent. It's a man's job to be strong. A woman's job is to be a helpmate to the man. God built Adam first, and then God made Eve from Adam's left rib for Adam, for the benefit of Adam, to bear kids, to populate the earth. Full stop. The Bible, you wanna call me a misogynist? You better call God a misogynist as well. Because when God talks to men in the Bible, he always orders them to fulfill a task. Okay? And he never talks to women the same way. The only reason and the only context and the only purpose that God talks to a woman in the Bible is he's ordering her to bear a child, it's usually a boy, so that he can become, or he could fulfill a task. Enoch, okay? Noah, Samson, okay? Jesus Christ. The mothers of these men I just mentioned, they were visited by an angel and they were told that, look, I came bearing don't be afraid. I came bearing a message from, the Almighty Father God, and he told me that, look, you ought to bear a child, a son, and he's going to fulfill a task.
My name is Tom Holman. I began my career as a Border Patrol agent in 1984. After 34 years, I became the first director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, that actually came up through the ranks. I've worked for 6 presidents. As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. you better start packing now. I got another message. Another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. I'll wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
Respect the chair's authority. The
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Holman!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Okay? He never orders women to fulfill a task because God knows biologically, you know, women aren't built for that. God never built women to fulfill heavy duty, important tasks. So, again, I'm kind of skeptical of Tulsi Gabbard. She is, from what I hear, a former warmonger. Okay, RFK Jr. used to be, you know, a Democrat, and I also saw a meme that says, actually, it's the Democrats that won the election this time around again. And folks, you really have to, I mean, not to cut our celebration short. I say we should celebrate as long as we will, because this is a historic victory. But at the same time, be mindful. Be mindful of the psyops. They say these things for a reason, okay? So the Biden administration seeks to really leave Trump in a heap of rubble for him to fix, sabotage. And then at that point, they can say, hey, not us. We told you about Trump. Didn't we tell you? We told you. Which brings me to my next point. Congratulations to the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate and his younger brother, Tristan Tate. The case is finally over. Completely done. Done and dusted. The case has been dismissed. Now, Tate brothers, get out of Romania quick before they feign another imaginary criminal case out of thin air. And you might not survive it this time. Okay? Now look, the way I know Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers, I hope this is not what they're gonna do. I mean, they're gonna try and save face and try not to appear cowardly is not the word I would use, but to appear stern. And I think they're looking to stay in Romania to their heart's content until they leave out of their own free will. But at some point, you have to be smart. You have to smarten up because look, once they charge you, there's not much you can do until the case is over. So I'd advise the Tate brothers to, yeah, man, look, I understand the cigar smoking tough guy archetype. Yeah, man, just set everything in motion, set all the stipulations in place, and get out of there. Get out of there. I say come back to America, man. I know what your thoughts are on America. Get out of there. If not America, go to Dubai. Okay? Go to your so-called beloved Muslim country. Because you, look, just get out of Romania, man. I've learned a lot, man, about the world. The last place I thought that such would happen to the Tate brothers was a third world country like Romania. I thought that such things would happen to the Five Eye nations, right? Even though South Africa should be part of the Five Eyes because we're an English-speaking first world country. The Five Eyes being United States, Canada, England, Australia, and New Zealand. South Africa should be considered part of it, but that's a conversation for another day. I thought that Andrew Tate would probably succumb to these trumped up charges, no pun intended, in these first world wokeist countries. Westernized countries, in other words. Apparently, pretty much all governments are connected, okay? If they want to take you down, that's exactly what they're going to do. Okay? I didn't expect this from the Romanian judiciary system. I think they smeared their name in a negative light. And yeah, man, I used to say that Andrew Tate wouldn't succumb to this if he came here to South Africa, but apparently this can happen anywhere at all, almost anywhere. I still have faith in the Middle Eastern countries. Their judicial system is set up differently. It's all based on religion, or should I say Sharia law. Yeah, I think Andrew Tate will be safer there. Yeah, man. Although I heard feminism is steadfast rising over there as well, but his best chances lie within, in third world countries. So yeah, congratulations to the Tate brothers. I saw Tristan Tate posted, Tates are free. Congratulations, guys. Congrats. It's finally over. Okay, the nightmare is over, and yeah, these are valuable lessons to be, these are valuable takeaways, and I hope, for your sake, you could still find a way to be relevant now that your case is over. I'm interested in finding out how you're going to continue. I mean, Tate is going to continue talking about the Matrix and whatnot. Fine, he can still be relevant based on that, but yeah, Tate just confirmed what some of us have been suspicious of. How, the Matrix work, how the Agent Smiths come after you, and yeah, he said a lot, okay? He said a lot. Yeah, I hope he can get his bank accounts unfrozen so he can access his money again and do what he needs to do. Let's talk about the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson boxing match. I'm surprised. I never caught wind of this, the build up to the fight. I only saw the fight like at match day that, Jake Paul is going to fight Mike Tyson. And I don't know what to say, whether there was a lot of hype around the fight, but if there was any sort of hype around the fight is that from what I know, the only reason why this fight, I mean, it's advertised, it's on sponsored, it's on Netflix, okay? A lot of people seemingly dislike Jake Paul, and for reasons I can sort of understand, because look, Jake Paul he's not really a boxer. He has a history or past of being a clowning social media influencer along with his brother Logan Paul. Okay? Now, kudos to Jake. He has taken the time to actually train, and he's had several boxing matches since. And this fight was a flop. It was a belly flop. Okay? It's just the idea of it. There was no reasonable story build up to the fight. They just gave us, hey, how about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? A guy who's 30 years past his prime. A guy who's damn near in his 60s. Who was wobbling and trembling on his feet throughout the fight.
12 of 53, 23%. Tyson coming out in that fight with McGregor.
And everybody was saying
to see more action. He's turning into a boxer.
Yep. Good shot.
And again, the left hook. Boy, warning Paul not to measure.
Mouthpiece.
Left hook. Triple left hook by Paul. He wobbled Tyson.
Your winner by unanimous decision, Jake El Gallo.
And he threw like a few punches at best. Now people are sort of like praising Tyson, so about Tyson the legend, he never got knocked out at his late age. Well, look, Jake Paul didn't really intend on knocking him out. It was pretty evident throughout the fight. The fight came across as more like a sparring match than an actual fight. Look, this is why we have to bring back shame, okay? We have to win the culture war. Because now, I mean, I love boxing, And this fight was just distasteful. It was in bad taste. It's just not something I want to think about. I mean, I watched the highlights, I watched the extended highlights, and that's all I need to see, man. The fight wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. A young guy, I mean, Tyson was like what? 19, 20 years of age when Jake was supposedly born. Nah, even the fight was bad, okay? And this is what's happening to our culture, man. We are becoming more debaucherous. We've become more debaucherous and still getting worse. Now we're gonna have like old grannies and grandpas on wheelchair, on life support.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Links to the conqueror, no.
Versus a kid that's a young adult clowning buffoonery influencer that everyone hates, going toe to toe in a boxing match, and that's gonna be the hype. That's what's given to us, and it's a huge insult to the prestige of actual boxing athletes. Because now, I mean, I think people are bored, somewhat kind of bored of actual boxers like Anthony Joshua, Floyd Mayweather, Tyson Fury. I think people are bored of that, and we've become so accustomed to that now. We're doing like these extra things just to sensationalize ourselves. It's no different than someone who's like extremely promiscuous, and they have so much sex to the point where a straight guy, he has plenty of sex. He lives the Dan Bilzerian type of lifestyle, and then he starts to experimenting with alternative type of lifestyles. Now it's a threesome. Now it's a orgy. Now it's no longer a guy with chicks. Now he's experimenting with other guys. It sort of like spills over to undesirable destinations. Okay? And that's what I think is happening. The prestige of the sport of boxing has been insulted, and I think we should boycott these celebrity influencers beefing and then them offering up boxing matches. Just no. Stop disrespecting boxing. Okay? Stop disrespecting the sport of boxing. This is different compared to the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight. I knew that Floyd Mayweather would win the fight because he's a specialist. He's very tactical. He's an intelligent boxer, and Conor McGregor is crossing over from his specialized sporting code to a sporting code that he's not used to. That is boxing. Of course, he's gonna lose. Just as much as I wouldn't bet on Floyd Mayweather winning against a specialized UFC fighter in a octagon cage fight. I wouldn't bet on it. And I knew that even with this, I knew that Jake Paul would lose a fight. So, yeah, man. Folks, things are quiet now. I mean, we in our celebratory phase. Shout out to John Jones over at the UFC, giving his paying his respects to Donald Trump. When he entered the UFC arena and the crowd went wild.
I also want to say a big thank you to President Donald Trump for being here tonight. Can I get a oh yeah?
Along with his crew, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Dana White was there. And yeah, man, it all seems nice at the moment, but pay attention to the psyops. Pay attention to what is going on. And the Biden administration, before they leave, they are looking to really cause monumental damage before enters in office. And guess what? They're going to blame it on Trump. But if you've been watching this far, thank you so much for watching. And remember, the Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. And don't fall for the psyops. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.
Away.